Boys, today I started a company. That's right, I literally launched my company today, and I can't wait to tell you guys about it. We have 7 products that we're launching. I'm going to explain them all in kind of that market a little bit, just so you can see where my head's at, how I came up with everything, why we launched it the way that we did, as well as just a timeline of my life, because I'm sure a lot of you thought my life is, oh, this guy goes to work in his everyday job, then he lifts, and then he, I don't know, posts TikToks the rest of the night. And then on weekends, he just goes out and has fun. Wrong. No, what I do is I work. Well, okay, I wake up. I have an hour before work to call some of my suppliers because they work normal times, like 8 to 4, which I also work 8 to 4. The issue is I can't call these people when I'm at work, and I have an actual job that I've made a commitment to, so I have to wake up an hour beforehand and try and convince them a lot of times to wake up an hour beforehand, show up to work early, so I can actually talk to them. Then, same thing, right after work, I have 30 minutes to talk to some of the other ones. So wake up an hour early, talk to these people for an hour, then go work my real job, then work this again for 30 minutes. Then on Tuesday and Wednesday, I get to relax, go to the gym. Then right after the gym, then I work on this more, and then I finally have time to post my TikToks, and then I go to bed. On the weekend, this is my full-time job. I spend 10 hours a day on all of this. It's been a lot, so I'm very excited to share it with you. It sounds like I'm complaining a lot. I hate that, right? I am very excited to share this with you guys. I'm not complaining. I'm just letting you know that the life that you thought Baxum was very different, very much more stressful. Before I get into my life and the ups and downs and all the tea that has happened in the background of this product, because holy crap, I hate drama, but there has been a lot. Let's begin with what this product is. This is known as a strength stick, and strength sticks have existed in the market for a while now. It started with a company known as GymPin, I want to say a couple years back, where people max out pin-loaded machines. So what you can do is you can put one of these in that pin-loaded machine, put some plates on, and now you have increased the amount of weight that that machine can do. Awesome. Problem. Some machines have 8mm holes. Some machines have 10mm holes. Sometimes you need a 6-inch pin. Sometimes you need a 9-inch pin. There's not a built-in clip, and sometimes you want to max out a plate-loaded machine as well. There's a lot of things that you need to add, and slowly they started adding these products. But now, in order to have everything that we offer, minus the 9mm, because they don't even offer that, you would need 8 gym pins. Kind of ridiculous. Now you can do it with just 1. And slowly companies started kind of picking up on this. The first one was Titan Goat, and this is why this project is so near and dear to me, because the first person in America to receive a Titan Goat was me. I am the first and only person to receive a free Titan Goat from the company of Titan Goat in the country of the United States of America. I got it, I sent it to Yo Talks to review, and then I sent it to TNF to review, and he still has it. I've been too afraid to ask him for it back because he's a big creator, and I'm afraid. That being said, Titan Goat came out with an amazing product. That is the most common thing to bend is the pin. So now if the pin bends, you can just get it replaced instead of buying a whole new pin. On top of that, you can unthread this, switch out the 8mm for a 10mm, so now you have 2 gym pins in 1 strength stick. It's much stronger. All sorts of different advantages of this. They blew the market away. The issue is the price. You're really not saving much, right? You can almost buy 2 gym pins for the price of 1 Titan Goat. So is it really worth it? That being said, Titan Goat, seriously amazing company. Shout out Titan Goat. I know they're a competitor of ours, but I gotta say, like, the owner is an absolute beast. He puts a lot of thought into everything. Ton of respect for Titan Goat. Then a few other companies also started coming up with things, right? The most common issue, once again, is that this pin is going to bend. So what you can do is you can have magnets here. That way it holds it against the weight stack, and now this thing can't bend anymore. The issue is those magnets don't do shit, right? I literally own a Bear Steel, which is the primary company that does this, and my Bear Steel is bent. Same thing with Gorilla Gear. My Gorilla Gear is completely freaking broken and the pins are bent. So the 2 companies that kind of came up with this didn't really solve anything. Well, there was another interesting thing, and that is Gorilla Gear made an extendable gym pin, right? It can go from 5 inches to 7 inches. Whereas before, if you want to buy a 6-inch, you got to buy that separate. And then if you want to buy a 9-inch, you can buy that separate. So there were a lot of interesting ideas coming out. There was one missing, though, and that is a built-in clip. And through this, I was like, you know what? I got a ton of ideas. So I came up with some crazy ideas. One is a button activated where wherever the plate is on the pin, you have like a pressurized piston cylinder on the inside that sends out piston rings basically and locks that plate in place wherever it is. Pretty freaking awesome. Also pretty freaking expensive and very expensive to test out. So it's not something you guys would buy. You guys don't want to spend $400 for one of these products, especially when it's a built-in clip, and every gym has clips anyway. So what's the point? I had some other ideas. I had one that's like, it goes from 5 3/4 inches, so smaller than any other pin. So it fits on some machines where there's not room for a pin and plates. and it extends all the way up to 9¼ inches. So the smallest and longest on the market, all made from one pin. It's an extendable pin. How is that possible? Pretty crazy. And it's not like two parts like this. It's literally one part. So good luck figuring that out. I'm literally telling you guys I was able to do it because I'm so confident that nobody's gonna be able to copy it. It was pretty genius. Obviously I'm biased, it was my idea. But I'm coming up with all these great ideas. I'm like, you know what? I don't have a way to model them. CAD is really expensive. I have a friend who knows CAD and he's a lot better at CAD than me. How about I get him involved? And I get him involved. He's like, dude, these ideas are ridiculous, they're expensive. I have cheaper ways to do it. And the whole time I was arguing with him, I'm like, dude, I know this market better than you do. Trust me, make it this way, it'll be cheap. He was right the whole time. So he came up with Gamma all on his own, and that is now our poster boy child. It is 6 inches long, extendable up to 9 inches long, has a built-in clip, so if you don't have room for a clip that's at the gym, you can just thread this on. Literally solves all of the problems, and you can thread in everything else. Perfect. So I had that idea, and I was planning on launching that idea on my own, but I wanted to maybe sell the idea, right? It's awesome to start your own company, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of investment. You need to make an LLC, find a way to ship your product, create a website, get insurance. There's a million things that you have to do. I don't want to deal with all of that. I work a full-time job that I really like. I'd rather just sell this idea to a company that I really enjoy. So I reached out to my favorite company at the time, and I'm like, hey, dude, I've got this great idea for a product. I think you guys would be the best company to sell it. Would you like to buy it? And he said no. He was like, hey, I know this market very well. I'm very good friends with the owner of GymPin. Great guy, by the way. Shout out Ben, absolute G, very nice guy. But yeah, he's like, I'm friends with that guy, and if I ever launch something in the space, I promised him I would work with him on it. He's offered to work together, and it's just not something I want to do. And I was like, fair. I have a lot of respect for that. That being said, I made the very dumb decision of telling them one of my ideas at this time. And it was that like piston ring idea where the plate can be held in place. It's basically a built-in clip. We have that conversation. He basically says no. He gives me a few pointers from my company. And then some other things happen that really frustrated me. And I go off on my own way. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Tried talking to them. Didn't work out. Fine conversation. Whatever. Fast forward a couple months. I have a few samples. I'm really liking things. And they announced they're coming out with a pin. What? I just pitched my entire idea to them. This idea that I was pursuing at this time, I pitched everything to them. Hard pivot, right? This company, if they want to launch, they can launch way faster than me. They have people working full time on it. I can only work in my off hours. My life was ruined. This was January 29th. My birthday was February 2nd. My parents were there that weekend. I was stressed the whole time. I feel terrible. I don't get to see them very often. They're up in Wisconsin. I'm in Texas. I got into a car accident that weekend, so we missed my birthday dinner. I had a hive breakout that weekend. I didn't even tell my parents, but from all of the stress and lack of sleep. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Thank God that following Monday when they left, finally had some time to just think, clear my head, and I was like, you know what? I think this is going to be fine. Maybe they launch before us. I can still do it cheaper, better. I'm an engineer. This is my job. I'm confident in myself, believe in myself. Decided to keep going. I also want to say that weekend, like that company announcing that they were coming out with one was a massive announcement. So the owner of every single competing company, except for Bear Steel, because I don't know who the owner of that company is, reached out to me. And I was texting every single one that weekend. Every single one. They were like, because I'm slightly associated with this company, they were like, do you know what they're launching? I don't know what they're launching. I was hoping you would know what they're launching. These other companies are like, hey, do you have any ideas? Like, is there a way you can help me launch in America? Because America is a big market and none of these companies reside in America. There was all sorts of talks going on and I couldn't really help any of them. And I'm also now afraid to pitch my ideas to them because it seems like my most recent one is going to get stolen. In the meantime, I keep kind of sampling my idea and refining it, making sure that it's perfect. Just have some manufacturing issues, which happens, right? You buy things. Oh shit, the threads don't work. You talk to your manufacturer, you get it figured out, you get it again. It's like, hey dude, this is not how I wanted this. It's not how I wanted this. Finally, you guys are on the same wavelength. You figure out how to work with this manufacturer, which takes a few iterations. It's not easy. And then once you're finally working with the manufacturer well, then you find out, oh shit, my design has some issues, right? This shouldn't be this way. This dimension is wrong. Couple months of refinement, a lot of money going into testing and things like this. And then finally you figure out what product you want. And I'm figuring out like my whole launch strategy and everything else. And while this is going on, at some point, that company that wanted to compete launches a video showing their idea. And sure enough, what is their idea? It is basically exactly what I would imagine my idea would look like if you listened to me pitch what my old idea was, like the one that I pitched to them, and they heard everything and tried to copy it the best they could from their memory. That is literally how I would describe this idea. And I'm like, well, shit, this sucks. So I just have no choice but to keep going. At this point, I've invested too much, and I just keep refining my idea. Thank God the public perception of their idea was about what I expected, because once again, it was like they tried copying my idea, but they were just missing a lot of the little things. They didn't really solve the problems that were being had. I don't want to bash them too much. I have a lot of good friends in this company. I still think they're a good company. They make a lot of good products. I still think that they've done the right things ethically when it comes to this launch. My personal opinion. So that week was probably the worst week of my life. I have another stress breakout. I have hives. It was a very stressful week at work. I had something big going on. I couldn't really focus on content, which is another big part of my life. So my content wasn't doing great. I wasn't sleeping. I was getting like 5 hours of sleep. Yeah, real bad. So I finally take a day off of everything and just clear my head, and we get back going again. And from here, it's really just kind of rinse, repeat, come out with samples, test the samples, see how they work, give them to my athletes, find the athletes to come up with a launch plan, keep working on the website, keep working on who's going to ship our product, keep getting quotes and things like that. It's a lot. And finally, I have what I have today, which is something that I'm really proud of, right? And that is, we have the OD extender, the ID extender, we have the 8mm, the 10mm, the brand new, nobody has 9mm, which I use today, and it's something I've needed for the longest time in my gym bag. Yeah, and I'm super freaking excited. So I hope you guys like this product as much as I have. I'll put my heart and soul into it. And the biggest thing I want to say is this whole launch, like these videos that you saw, I hope you guys like the launch idea. I hope it did as well as I thought it would do. But this whole launch is not a launch of our strength sticks. This is a company launch, right? We're going to be so much more. We have so many ideas. We have products that you guys have never seen before. We're going to find some way, shape, or form to end up in your gym bag. And I promise you that we have some big things coming that you guys are really going to enjoy. Before I go, I do want to say one more thing, and that is I do plan on having more company-related videos. Just know I won't be fully transparent, right? Obviously, I have to keep some level of what products we're launching secret, just so that there's some hype on the launch, right? That's something that's very important. But I want to give you guys advice on how to launch companies and things like that, because I've learned an absolute ton, and I want you guys to learn from my mistakes. So expect a lot more videos like that. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. I'm more than happy to help you out. So I hope that you guys like Battalion. I'm excited to continue to grow Battalion, grow this channel. I appreciate your guys' love and support. And yeah, thank you guys.
Okay, bye.